Hi, good morning, justice seekers. It is fun to seek justice and fight for peace, in my opinion. I don't think that people who haven't done it understand and can be critical and say, oh, how can you be having fun when somebody has perished and maybe at the hands of other people? And like I said, it is fun to fight for peace. It is fun to push for justice, in my opinion. So I am the channel A to Z, channel Justice A to Z. Still a little bit early. Today actually is September 29th, Thursday. The day before yesterday, I did my thing way too early and got the date all wrong. So here we are, Thursday, September 29th. And thank you for coming back to my channel. If you're a repeat and if it's your first time, welcome, and I hope you like what you see. I'm really interested in your comments, so please like, subscribe, and comment if you feel the urge. A couple things I want to cover. I want to cover my disclaimer. Everything I say is my opinion only, just for conversation, for discussion, entertainment, and education. So, I'm a little distracted because of that hurricane down in Florida, and I've got a family member right there in the thick of it. But I think that they're okay in Sarasota. It's just south of them that got nailed really badly. Venice, I think, Naples, like 6 feet of water or more. I mean, I think 6 feet of water in some places. I think I've heard 10 feet in other places. So it's bad. And, prayers for the people there, and hopefully things get repaired. I know even the Sarasota airport got knocked down, took a few punches. Which brings us to Kylie Rodney's case. Taking a few punches. We've all been hearing about this whole Fight Club thing that was a thing for this group of teenagers. And have you guys heard? Here, I'm going to take my glasses off because that glare. Have you guys heard that Check It TV was a referee for the fight, allegedly? The fight between Sammy and Kylie, allegedly? This case just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Initially when I saw his video about finding the laptop, I thought, okay, he's a little shaken up. And then, it went downhill quickly after that. He's been inconsistent and I think deceptive, and things are just so weird with the case, with the search, with the discovery of Kylie, the discovery of her stuff. It just doesn't stop. So the reason why I am continuing to cover the case is because I don't want this case to lose momentum until there's justice for Kylie. So let me look at my notes. I got a few things I really want to hit on. One of them is not any fun at all. Nobody likes to talk about trafficking, but we need to talk about that. In reference to Check It TV, if he was at that party, why was he even at that party? Was he just there to referee? Like, that is bizarre to me, especially that he has not disclosed that openly. I mean, really, that's the trouble with any of these people, is that they're not disclosing things openly. If Xana May has a niece that's friends with Sammy, a niece cousin, why hasn't she said, well, I went searching for Kylie because my niece is friends with her friends and kind of knows her, or something like that. Sure, you want to keep some information private, but at the same time, if you're going to put yourself out there, you are putting yourself out there, and you need to be upfront. When you keep changing your story and deleting things and editing things, it's not a good look. So, you might say something that you didn't mean to say, but you can correct it. Deleting and editing can be shady. I mean, most people delete and edit things from their videos before they put them up for you folks to see. But I'm not that tech savvy yet. I'm working on it. So yeah, the thing with the sex trafficking, we have no idea if that was a part of the situation with Kylie, right? My point is that whether or not it was part of the situation with her, the sad reality is that it happens. And there was just a big bust in Florida a couple months ago in Polk County. You probably heard about it. There's like 160 people arrested. One of them was a police chief from, I think, Alabama. They were from all over the world. There was at least one from California. And a few Disney employees and teachers, nurses. I mean, it was really bad. A lot of people that are into that crazy stuff they camouflage themselves in these settings, like as a social worker, child protective services type of thing, but they can then locate the vulnerable individuals. And I just want to throw this in too. I don't know if people have been paying attention to one of the newer things that traffickers are allegedly doing is putting zip ties on a rear passenger door handle of a woman's car to let traffickers know that this woman is alone and vulnerable and would make a good target. So if you see a zip tie on your rear passenger door, run for your life. I mean, I'd say run to the nearest police station. Maybe they can do some fingerprinting or something. Which brings us into the whole issue of corruption with law enforcement in this situation with Kylie. If you are not familiar with that affidavit, I keep bringing it up, May 15th, 2022. It is specifically about the Placer County Sheriff who had Kylie's case for the first 15 days or so, give or take, and whose son, Wayne Wu, is the sheriff. His son, Nate Wu, was allegedly at the party. So we've also been able to determine that Kate's father is also a sheriff for, I think, Sacramento County or something. But we have law enforcement kids there. We've known that all along, kind of the rumor mill. But the fact that Nate Wu was, if he was at this party, allegedly, and that his father was in charge of the case, you would think they could crack the case because Nate could just tell his dad what he saw. But it doesn't sound like Sheriff Wu is the kind that is dealing above boards, allegedly. So read that affidavit. You can Google it. You can just Google Placer County Sheriff Affidavit, May 15th, 2022. Or if you'd rather see a podcast about it, I read it out loud for, I think, my fourth video that I put up. So it's in there towards the bottom of the barrel. It's so important. I can't stress that enough. I know law enforcement. I know investigations. I know how they work. My family is military and law enforcement, and my background is mental health and a lot of legal work. So the fact that a sheriff who has these serious allegations against him was in charge of this case that seems pretty shady. They didn't find anything for the first 2 weeks, and they closed the case and discourage Adventures with Purpose from going into the Prosser Lake area to look, the Prosser Creek Reserve. The whole thing just reeks to high heaven, in my opinion. So please check out the affidavit. It is like the foundation for this case, in my opinion. So I want to talk more about the isolation and homeschooling, but I also don't want to forget to talk about when you have trafficking, you have money laundering. Um, and you do have smaller communities are easier targets for cartels. That's kind of a dirty word, right? Um, Smaller communities are easier for cartels to move in on and gain control over than big cities. You know, there's less checks and balances, especially it sounds like in California counties where they have their sheriff be their public administrator and their coroner. I have never even imagined such a thing. Weird, right? Um, so, you know, usually the money laundering is where people get busted because you've got it in black and white if you've got documentation of that. And that's often how they bring these people down. So, um, you know, the businesses in Truckee may be all involved in that to keep going, especially through the lean months of the summer. You know, it's a ski community, a ski industry community, and they attract people in the summer, but not anywhere near the numbers of in the winter. So along the lines of money, we've got the lodge, the Lost Creek Lodge that Kylie's granddad built, and then her mother and stepdad and her moved into it when she was 7. And apparently, the title of the lodge was transferred from Kylie's grandfather's name into Kylie's father's name, biological father. And I find that really interesting. If it is still in his name, where the money, how it'll get split when it sells. You know, follow the money is old school, and it's really, really pertinent in pretty much every case. So, you know, there's been a lot of mention of the lodge being for sale, of the GoFundMe accounts. Um, you know, it's just follow the money. You get the idea. So let's see the isolation. Oh my goodness. The isolation out at that lodge, it seems, was even more severe than I thought. It sounds like in the winter months, you cannot get to that lodge except by cross-country skiing. Maybe snowmobiling, I would think, if you can cross-country ski. But you got to remember, in Tahoe, avalanches are common, and you do everything you can to avoid them. So maybe a snowmobile is dangerous to take through your property because it's going to loosen stuff up. I don't know. But I remember hearing that really early on, that the only way to reach this lodge was cross-country skiing, that it was way out in the sticks. And for those that haven't seen my other videotapes, I've actually stayed in a lodge really close to that lodge, right on the water of Lake Donner. And it is just gorgeous there. And the snow is world-class snow. You've never seen snow like that. A lot of people haven't. I'd seen a lot of snow, but I had not seen 15 feet of snow, 20 feet of snow, 10 feet of fresh snow on top of compacted snow. It's crazy. So, it's a skier's dream and can be a skier's nightmare for avalanches. So apparently during a winter, there could be many, many moons where the family wouldn't leave the lodge, apparently. So, the kids were homeschooled. Kylie's got a younger sibling. And the parents, the stepdad and the mom, I take it, ran the functions of the business. So, that type of business keeps you really busy. And sadly, very isolated if you're out there way off the beaten path. And we're talking way off the beaten path. Most of us have probably seen that video of Kylie driving the I think it's like a Toyota 4Runner, the first time she went through that narrow tunnel that's under a train track, and then it's like over like boulders and gravel. I mean, it's gnarly. And that is just a small portion of that drive. I mean, this is a rough, rough place to drive. They wanted to be off the beaten path. It sounds like the lodge is actually for cross-country skiers that might not even be driving in, that they just ski in. So, you know, it's a unique place. It sounds amazing. They didn't have internet access, or they had really bad internet access up until real recently, I gather. So, you know, that would be one reason why Kylie got so good at singing and playing guitar, right? I mean, that's a lot of time freed up. I know my kids spend way too much time on not so much social media, but, you know, video games and electronic devices, basically. So, the other thing I wanted to touch base, this is going to be kind of a short one today because, like I said, my main goal here is just to keep Kylie's case going. And so yesterday I was wanting to encourage individuals that are watching this to do what they can to help. And I really believe each one of us has the potential to make a difference. I mean, look at Ryan Upchurch. He's one guy. In my opinion, this case was saved by Ryan Upchurch, in my opinion. And he's taken like a week off from it right now. And, you know, some people are covering other cases, which is fine. You know, a lot of cases need the attention. I'm just really drawn to this case. There were other cases that I've wanted to cover and hadn't started my channel yet. I finally got my channel going, I think a month ago today, maybe. And thank you so much for the likes and the subs and the comments. I mean, it's just phenomenal. When I have read a few that say you're my new favorite, I'm just like, oh my God, I could cry. So, in closing, let's see, the main thing about the isolation is that, you know, I'm sure Kylie was a lovely, lovely child, and that kids were very attracted to her, adults were very drawn to her. She was just an exotic creature. But it is hard, in my opinion. Social skills are hard for everybody, in my opinion. But especially somebody who's homeschooled. And Kylie was homeschooled, I think, all the way through. I think the charter school that she graduated from is just kind of like a, you know, a mothership for homeschooling seniors, basically, or high schoolers. So, you know, what an amazing kid. In contrast to her graduating early with honors and all that good stuff, the guy that she had broken up with or was on and off again sounds like barely finished. If you've seen the video of his graduation, they make it abundantly clear that he had no interest in his academics and in finishing, and that they really had to encourage him and kind of spoon feed him and walk him through it. And he did it, which is fabulous. Congratulations, Jagger. That's good. You want to make sure you get that high school degree, and you did it. So very cool. I bring up the ex-boyfriend because one of the reasons why I'm really drawn to this case, and again, whether this is the actual situation here or not, is domestic violence. I see things in the videos and photographs with Jagger and Kylie that are alarming to me. The expressions on their faces that are so drastically different from one another. I'd say Kylie looks concerned, scared, and Jagger looks just blissful and in love. That's my opinion when I look at some of those photos. And then that videotape that he took without telling her, and then when he put it on social media after she disappeared or was found deceased, he put it on social media letting everyone in the world know that she never knew it was videotaped. And I thought right away that that was weird. And then watching it The interactions that they're having is weird to me, in my opinion. There's also just a short little clip I saw yesterday of him like putting her in a headlock of all things. Yeah, horseplay is horseplay. I understand that. But I'm concerned that they had a tumultuous relationship. Breakups are hard. It was likely both of their first love. They'd been together, I think roughly, they got together like 2 years ago, and then roughly they broke up several months ago. And they were still kind of connecting. I don't know. But he allegedly has other romantic interests as well. And she allegedly had other romantic interests as well. That's why the Nates are so important. That one of the Nates was her romantic interest the night of the party. And that might be a Nate that Sammy had liaisons with. Sammy may or may not have had liaisons with Jagger. These are all rumors, these are all allegations, but again, my point being the competitive factor and also the breaking up factor with domestic violence, that the most dangerous time for a person in a domestic violence relationship is when they're trying to leave or even after they've left. It's very scary. So on that, I want to encourage everybody to send emails or call. The Nevada County Sheriff is who has the case for Kylie. And you can ask questions. You can request public records. It's the Sunshine Law. Law enforcement, all public offices are supposed to be transparent. And you're allowed to request records. They are allowed to make it difficult. So often you have to be persistent and request more than once and be real specific what it is that you're asking for. They are allowed to say, well, it's an open case, so we are not at liberty to share that right now. And you could even be so direct to say, well, what are you at liberty to share? I'm interested in this case. I'm interested in seeing justice for this individual and her family, if you are so inclined. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and sub and share and comment if you will. And I will see you tomorrow. I've mentioned I'm trying to do these routinely in the morning before the lighting gets really bad. And then once in a while in the afternoon, if something comes up, breaking news, I'll put one together in the evening or afternoon. So, in the evening, the lighting's fine too. It's the natural light that's such a problem. And then I don't like the lights reflecting in my glasses or in the glass of the artwork behind me. I had to leave this door open to get that light coming in just because that extra little light made all the difference. So it's just funny trying to get it right. Anyway, thank you. Have a great day. Please take care of yourself. Eat well. Stay hydrated. Exercise. Relax. Be kind. Kind to yourself. Kind to others. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks again. Bye.